Hello, how you doing? Welcome back to America Then and Now. Trying to get my mood music. Today we're going to talk about horror. Why do people all over the world, and especially here in America, why are we so captivated by horror movies, werewolves, ghosts, vampires, all that kind of stuff? Why? We've always been fascinated by the macabre, the things that bump in the night, something that could happen. Is the devil real? Who knows? But if you think way back, think about the stuff that was around when you were a kid. You know, when I was young, I was captivated by all the sci-fi, Godzilla and aliens and things, and many of us were really enthralled by the fact that there might be a dinosaur kind of living out there somewhere. Then I love watching any kind of vampire movie or werewolf especially. I would always like to see werewolves and see them change, you know, from man to beast and beast back to man. And it's pretty cool, you know, with the special effects, you know. Even back in the old days, we've never been around anything like that, you know. Nothing compared to today, obviously. You know, today's movies are unbelievable, so realistic compared to what they were back in the old days, you know. And sometimes when you watch the old movie, maybe it is a little cheesy, but you got to think a lot of those classics were made 70 years ago. You know, a lot of the great werewolf movies and vampire stories, all that 50s and, you know, moving into the 60s, you know. But audiences from everywhere, afternoon matinees, later on TV, you know, they're glued to horror, being scared. I think there's maybe a certain thrill to the fact that you might get scared by watching a movie, you know, and maybe if you're a girl and your boyfriend jumps a little bit, you know, at something, you go, ha, you were scared, ha, you big sissy, you know. But it is what it is. You know, when I went to high school during the late 70s, I graduated in 82, and we had lots of horror then, you know, and movies, Nightmare on Elm Street. Do you remember watching Nightmare on Elm Street the first time? Introducing Johnny Depp. Oh my, Lady Gaga. Introducing Johnny Depp. And we've never been attacked in our dreams like we were when we saw the Nightmare on Elm Street. And the phone, the tongue coming out of the phone, you know, I'm your boyfriend now, you know. Crazy stuff. People, how do you dream and think that up? Then how do you make it look so real in the movie? Do you remember the original Hellraiser? That movie was, at the time when that movie came out, that was one movie that would screw with your head. Pinhead? We have never seen anything like Pinhead. Would tear your soul apart. You know, and the way he talked and the visuals of that movie. You got to remember that every time you probably went to go see a movie, even if you're a young person now and you're watching this video, think about the very first horror movies or thrillers and slashers and all that kind of stuff. Think of the first thing you ever saw that really boggled your mind a little bit. I'm an older guy, so I went through several stages of that. But I remember very distinctively, Nightmare on Elm Street and Hellraiser really kind of pushed the envelope as far as what was coming out next. And we still like to go. And the things like the Amityville Horror, they're still making Amityville movies now. And they're still making werewolf movies and things. So our fascination is not going anywhere. If you like those kind of movies, our fascination is not going anywhere. We're waiting to see what's next. Now, one unfortunate thing about
this oceanside verbo is about to become
what in the world? My music changed. Some movies are just too violent and rely on too much gore. I think there's a point of no return where the movie is overtaken by special effects, and the original Saw was pretty wild, but you see what happened in those movies, and there's not so much a place for me with those type of movies. Even some people just like to see what they're going to do, what they can get by with. But give me a classic plot, a good old monster. Even a good sea monster movie can be really exciting. Or even something like Jason Statham in The Meg is pretty cool. So give me a good movie, give me some plot, give me some action, but not go overboard with the effects. You got another sucker like me jumping in the seat in front of the TV or in the theater. So think about your favorite horror movies. Maybe ask your mom and dad what they thought was scary when they were younger. Compare notes. Sit down and watch a movie together. And have a great day. And don't forget to subscribe to America Then and Now. We'll probably have something really juicy coming up next. So bye-bye.